Hey, what is going on YouTube? It's your boy, Desert Fox. I love this game. I'm not sure if you guys know that already, but we're going to dive in some more Wargame Red Dragon, Ash and Shadows, how to build balanced deck UK. Coming all the way from the British Isles, we're going to be building and testing out a UK deck. The Brits. I'll turn my caps off there. The Brits, easy day. So UK, let's get it. We're diving in. You get 63 activation points. As always, we like to start with the beefy tanks because we're beefy boys and we like beefy toys. Um, so what is the objective here when we build a balanced deck? I will keep blasting away at the big guns when it comes to building a balanced deck. And how do we do that? Imagine a triangle, and that triangle needs to be able to combat infantry, tanks, and potential air threats, kind of going at the same speed. Because an integral part of land combat in speed is the tanks being probably the slowest thing. That's typically where I like to start. If you notice, their speed, I'm just going to look at this Challenger 2 here. Its speed is about 60 kilometers per hour. So that's what you're kind of looking at for your main tank component. You will possibly have other items that travel faster than that, like 80, but on the road, getting basically to the theater where you're operating is going to be about 110 kilometers per hour going on the road. So that's just something to think about. In theater, you want to not have to micro them so much. So if they're moving in a task force at the same speed, it does help you a bunch. Okay, so looks like we have some very nice units. We'll start with the cheapos and kind of work our way up to see what we can get. This is a Challenger Mark 1 here. We'll select it. It has a smoke dispenser that's good for stopping grenades or missiles, targeting this vehicle. It is very large. Optics are medium, which is good. Strength is 20. I believe that's 28. Yeah, 28 strength. And you got a speed of like 55 and a road speed of 110 kilometers per hour. So, pretty standard gun. It attacks at 17, but I'm worried about the rate of fire. That is a force multiplier. The more hits that you can deliver to the enemy, the better your chances of surviving combat and suppressing him. A little better on the gun, actually a lot better, but the rate of fire is about the same. So this will be your, in this class of Challenger 1 Mark 3. Decent gun, decent AP power, and decent rate of fire. It still goes at 50 kilometers per hour. So it is the same chassis, just basically a better gun. So it's worth more points. And you don't get a lot of them. This is probably going to be your mainstay. And again, you don't get a lot. You even only get one card. So you have to be smart with what you're calling in and how you're using it. And remember, these tanks aren't necessarily known for their speed. So reconnaissance is going to be crucial so that you don't maneuver your tanks to where they're not going to be needed. You're going to send them to where they're going to be needed to combat the most effective things. So we've got the Challenger 2. One thing I want to notice about this is it's got the 22 AP power and a really good gun. So it's standard range. So great armor though. Really good armor, really good strength. It's a beefy tank. It's going to be really hard to take it out. And then it gets one round of smoke, so you can block ATGMs coming at you, which is good from helicopters or guided rockets. But we're going to be smart, so we're not going to need that. It is a very imposing tank. But like I said, you only get one card of them, and the max you can take is like 7 train. That could be a challenge, but we like challenges because we're the challengers. Moving on. We've got the Challenger 2 clip. This thing I could see this really being useful in your deck for 2 reasons. One, it is a beefy tank. It does hit at 25, but this ability to fire at 2450 gives you first shot capability on almost all units. And with the ability to hit and have a good unit for a fighting retreat, I would definitely say that he's a really good pick. His front and side armor though are really good, and he's got active protective. Well, he doesn't. Never mind. He doesn't have active protective, but he has really good armor. So it's just regular protective, even better. And then you got the Challenger 2 Mark II. Now this bad boy does have active protection, and it has 8 rounds of it. So the enemy can shoot a couple missiles. Maybe some gets through, but most of them won't. Uh, it does have a standard range gun at 24 and at 9 rounds. So it's comparable, but again, you only get like 5 of them. So that can pose a problem, or a serious problem when you think about it. You might be taking, if you want to take these, this might be a staple tank, but you're probably going to be taking some of these. And if you look at the speed, they will be out in front if they're traveling off road by a significant level, and their ability to maneuver is going to be severely hindered at 50. And it doesn't get any better. Chieftain Mark 12. It's got a decent gun. It still fires at 70 rounds per minute and a speed of 45. So they are traveling in slow motion. Very underpowered chassis, man. This is very unfortunate. But it does have an active protective system. Good for it. But again, this is not the style of combat that you would like in a force multiplier, to be able to maneuver and get multiple shots on target. So yeah, we look at this very cheap one. It's basically the same thing, just without the tactical system and less accuracy on the gun. No worries, super cheapo tank here, but great speed, great autonomy. And it's got a 76 millimeter round, 9 rounds per second, and an AP power of 12 at 55 accuracy. But it doesn't look like it's stabilized, so that's probably why it's so cheap. It's a Scorpion light tank, and that's probably all it's used for. It is for popping light targets of interest. So what we're looking at basically is probably you're going to take some of these, and mixed complement would be probably preferred. If I had to pick between the two, I like the range of your gun over the active protective system, just because it's such a beefy tank already, and the ability to shoot and hit the enemy before he shoots and hits you is good. Even with an ATGM, most of the time they have to be able to see you, so it's going to be crucial that you take recon and hope the enemy doesn't take theirs. Speaking of recon, we will dive in here because I think it is important. They have this Apache. Now I know what you're thinking. Most of the Apaches have the longbows, but not to fear, these things are super accurate, which is unique. So they fire at salvos of 2 instead of having ATGMs, and they're very accurate 70 millimeter rockets. They're like targeted, very similar to ATGM of sorts, but it's a rocket. So it's like a sniper rocket. It's very cool, actually. I like that they incorporate these in the game because ideally that's what you want. You want a rocket to hit, and you have 36 of them. So it can do a lot of damage at 8 AP if you're hitting them in the side or the top. Also, you've got a 30 millimeter autocannon and regular rockets too. So this can be good, but remember, what are you using it for? It's eyes. So it's got very good. Let's see if we can find something better. We do have something better. This is basically Gazelle. They call it a Wildcat. Exceptional optics, 310 kilometers per hour. ECM a little bit, and strength medium. Decent fuel. And it also has 7 ATGM rockets, so you can shoot some targets of interest, but at very, very close range. So hopefully there's not a buck, tunguska, or cub anywhere close, because it's gonna get popped easy. Also, if you don't want to take it with any missiles, it's got an exceptional here, so this is actually a pretty good option. What else do we got? We got. So this unit is seems pretty cool. Probably good for accompanying the tanks. It has decent front armor, not too good, but it does have a 40 millimeter autocannon. That's a big bonus to a little vehicle at 70 accuracy, stable or stationary. So that's very good. Autocannons of around the 30 to 50 millimeter bracket are really good in this game. So just word to the wise. And it has a 4 top attack, fire and forget missiles. That is very, very good. So it has to shoot them stabilized, but once you get them off, you can shoot and scoop. And I like that. It is not in there. It doesn't look to be in their limited deck. So if you're taking a non-limited NATO force, you can put these in there in your recon. Recommended. It's pretty good, and it travels at 65, so it will go faster than the tanks and be good to lead the tanks. What else we got here? This guy, the Fox, good recon, decent 30 millimeter round cannon. Scorpion, same thing, and then this guy, 76 millimeter gun at the AP power of 12. So pretty good light mover. It's not like the cheapo 8-1 that we saw on the tanks. This is a recon, so you're getting the best of both worlds: speed, autonomy, a gun, and eyeballs. Very nice. What else we got? We got some SBS, not to be confused with the infamous SAS. They are leaked though. They have Carl Gustav rockets, and they travel at 30 kilometers per hour in the recon. So they got very good optics, which is why you would take them. So it's like a fighting recon, which is good. You can get them in the chopper. Get in the chopper. The links. You have the Stormer. Now the Stormer is an interesting vehicle because it goes at 80 kilometers off road, but it's got low armor, so be smart with them. It's got a Jackal. It's basically like an armored car. Spartan is very similar to the Stormer, but the difference is stop in basically the speed, because this bad boy goes at 95 kilometers per hour, so it's the same vehicle, it just gets there faster. Very nice. You do have the Boxer, which gets there even faster, but it is wheeled, so off-road, something to keep in mind. This will be a fast-moving force if you need it to, but it only has a machine gun, so don't expect it to trade a lot with the enemy when it gets there. You got that, and you got a kind of box glory wagon. So yeah, look at that. Looks kind of boxy, like you're going on a safari, right? Very nice. What else we got here? We got these green jackets. This could be very useful for fire and forget top attack. For a recon unit, that could be effective. The only problem I see is if you come across in the air, he's gonna have a tough time. So hopefully he's in the forest or something to where he can run and get the advantage for a flyover. So that's pretty much their main recon. They do have this Rover Pinky Wield exceptional, but for 45 points, you could probably take him for a little bit more and be very effective. His size is medium, his size is small, so that's kind of where he stands out in the game. When you have a small recon and he has exceptional optics, it's a huge bonus because the enemy has to get really, really close to see him. And then he also has medium stealth, so it's a wheeled vehicle, and it can sit somewhere. You turn off all its weapons, and it's just basically a wheeled, very stealthy land scout. It's good because if you put him in the right position, it can make or break the game, because you can see maybe everything the enemy's calling in. So we might try to do some funny business like that. We'll throw him in there just so we don't forget, and we'll throw 7 of them here just so we don't get. Let's go look at the vehicles, because they do have some very interesting vehicles as well. This Mongoose, man, I've seen this thing play, and I played with it before. 40 millimeter autocannon, very nice. Laser guided fire and forget brimstone missiles that fire at, mind you, 20 975. That is amazing. That's really good. So in a stand-up fight, these guys are going to trade very well because they also have 7 other ATGM missiles that fire at 27. So it outranges all tanks, and its accuracy is incredible. So be prepared to hit what you shoot at, and it's a recon in a vehicle slot. So really, you're doubling up. This is really nice. I wish they would have just put it in the recon slot, but hey, I didn't make the game. His optics are good, but that's all you need because the enemy's optics are medium, and you're gonna shoot first most of the time. Depends on the range. Speaking of range, we have this striker extractor. It fires very long range, 65 27. So these vehicles are actually a game changer. I will put 4 of those in their hardened because they're so good, and I will put 4 of these in their hardened. We might adjust that later, but when it comes to range fight, you don't have a lot of tanks. So I already know that if you get in any kind of long range engagement, that offset is going to need to be mitigated with something. So actual helos, here we go. We have this. This is in our limited deck. It is a Brimstone Fire and Forget laser guided missile. Range is very good, 3325. Not gonna outrange most like high-end Tunguskas because they're at like 3500, but you are gonna be able to hit what you shoot at 70, and he's gonna be able to see it too, see it hit. You also get these guided, these 6, but look at that. I think they're to hit choppers. Yeah, so it's a dogfighter too. Really good, interesting unit. And it's got an autocannon. The autocannon on the flying autocannon on choppers is not to be underestimated, because if you have some really cheap tanks, this can pop them. Like if they're 15, if they're cheaper than 30, man, this thing can actually get at them. So we're gonna put them in there because those are amazing stats. We get 1 card, so we'll take 2. We'll fire and forget at 70. We'll take 5 trained. I think these could be a good game changer to offset the tanks if we can use our tactics properly. So let's see what we got here. See, so now as I'm thinking, I'm already kind of putting items in the deck. I know that our tanks aren't going to be, the best of the best of the best. We are going to go to the infantry, which I'm hoping, they do have some pretty decent infantry. I'm hoping that they make up for an infantry and like mechanized IFVs and ABCs that they lack in the tanks. And what I'll do is my whole mission now, the way I'm thinking I'm going to balance this deck, is to make the deck to where I can possibly keep control of the skies at all time, and I want to keep control of the skies almost at all times and be able to bomb the enemy tanks and infantry out of existence. What that's going to require is for me to basically constantly pop enemy AA and possibly carpet bomb or chopper rush or recon pop the enemy. That's going to be super crucial. He looks kind of cool. Stealth is very good, but we're start up here. Sorry. The F-35 ARAF, clearly that is not an F-35, but hey, take what you can get, boys and girls. It does have payway bombs, so that's really good if you can get good recon on a Tunguska. The only problem is the Tunguska can shoot at these JBUs, so it actually can pop the JBUs. If they have a glide bomb, we want to use that to pop the Tunguska. Well, that could be helpful. See, the British, were they given glide bomb units? Doesn't look like it. They have the glide bombs, but I'm talking about the small diameter ones that the Tunguskas can't hit. So it doesn't look like they have it, but okay, so yeah, it doesn't look like they have it almost at all. So we'll just take what we can get. We'll come back to that. And then the support units, let's see what they got. So if you're into arty, which if you guys have seen any of my other gameplay, I'm a really big fan of MLRS because I don't like to macro. I like to keep the action moving. But if you do like it, they do have very good artillery, I will say. Uh, I'd say comparable only to the Russians because of the volume, but the British, these basically paladins are world class, really good stuff. So good, just very good shells, 155 millimeter rounds, 84 of them. So you can get a lot of them for, you get 2 cards and you get 2 of them. So basically 4 if you want, or 5 of these cheaper ones and you get 1 card. So basically 4 or 5. Challenger Marksman. So this is probably what's going to support your tanks. Why do I say that? Because it's basically going the same speed of the tank, slightly slower, 55 kilometers per hour. So very balanced, good range on air defense. You have to kind of still keep him close because if you get caught unawares, it's going to take him forever to get in position. But the armor for a supporting unit like that is pretty good, I will say. A little pricey though for 65. If you like the cheaper ones, they're cheaper for a reason. The 45 kilometers per hour is gonna crush you, man. I'm gonna tell you right now. It does look like it's on a chieftain body, and this one is on a challenger body. So basically, to keep up with those tanks. There's your sniper gun. Man, this thing packs a wallop, but look at it. This is the thing that you put the circus clown in and he gets fired across the world. So yeah, you probably need one of those in your deck, just not mine. You got this MLRS. It does fire smoke. I've never seen someone shoot an MLRS with smoke, but that should be interesting. They smoke the whole place out. Yeah. So, it's got 6 rounds too at 223 millimeter rounds. That is pretty cool. Basically a Scud missile. You get 2 of them, and then your MLRS, my favorite. Only because I don't like the micro. Get the shells down range, do their job, and cool. So the track rapier, this guy though, can be useful if you're dealing with choppers. But if you notice, the speed is 35, so I'm not taking them with my tanks, right? The sky rapier, same thing. This one is a lot better, good for choppers, and it goes at 60, but it only gets 8 rounds. So at 75, it might hit what it shoots at, but what I'm really keying in on is the HE power. If you notice, the HE power is 4, and most choppers don't have any armor. If they do have armor, it's still able to pop the chopper and take it out with 1 hit. So that could be very, like, 1 shot 1 kill for choppers. Very powerful. Okay, so this is something that you could take to accompany the tanks. It's an option, but I like to, if he or the computer chooses a chopper rush, these are going to be your stopgaps, right? 825 rounds in good range. You're just going to do a wallop of damage. You really are. It's going to be amazing. Also, for the rolling ones, if you have a rolling component, these guys are top of their class, in my opinion. At 80 accuracy and great range, you get 12 missiles. So that's pretty good. It is 1 HE power, but it's going to hit what it shoots at. And it travels off the road at 80 kilometers per hour. Very good stuff. It's world class. And you get a lot of them. You can get 10 trained and 7 hardened. So yeah, world class stuff right here. Infantry. All right, so we're gonna take a quick peek at the infantry, and then we're gonna start building. We do have the yeoman auxiliary, and look at how many guided missiles I have. 12 guided missiles, but you're only gonna hit half the time. So basically 6 guided missiles, right? That's probably why they have so many, and they're regular. So they're moving slow. Just things to think about. These guys are shooting the law, and they have a warrior with a javelin, very effective 30 millimeter and 4 javelin missiles. So this could accompany your tanks in a kind of supporting role. Just something to think about. These are shock troops, so they can put in work. They have 8 rockets, and at close range they can do a lot of damage. So basically they're gonna kill what they shoot at. Same guys, just a different vehicle. So they've got it in a wear, and you can take it in a you can take it in this high-end warrior here with a 40 millimeter and the active protective system. That's very nice, and you can keep it with the tanks. It's great armor. So this is probably your top of the line, but I would more like to take this if I'm accompanying my tank force, because I want to be able to support my tanks with the javelin. If it comes under fire with tanks, you want it to be able to shoot and scoot if it needs to. This guy is going to be good for if it's traveling in a more of a wing play and you don't have support tanks. You're going to want the heavier armor and this vehicle to hold its own. So its punching power at 2100 meters needs to do its job. So it's something to think about. And you might not have time if you're in the forest to fire your javelin off. It might just be your autocannon that wins the day. Moving on, SAS. Look at that. Now look at the units, and I like units like this to take into any deck, right? The diversity is amazing. I think the SAS are not, and I might have to check this out, but I think they are not in a limited deck. Yeah, so you can take the SAS in any NATO deck, as long as it's not in your freelance NATO deck. You can take this unit, which is nice. It shoots at choppers at 2975. Great. It shoots at tanks 50% though, but at 19, which is also great. It's elite, it's fast, and it has a very great gun. So these guys are your jack of all trades and a master of a few, and they're quick. So definitely probably going to be throwing, you get 2 cards of them, and you can take them in some of the links. You can take them in as a recon jackal, very nice, goes fast. You can take them in your camper wagon, very nice, and you can take them in this chopper. Yep. And if those elite guys weren't enough, they get some more elite guys, the more Royal Marines. Standard guys though, you got basically 2 machine guns and a rocket, and the rocket is still very close range, but it moves quick, and they're elite, so they won't get shaken easy. Movie don't paratroopers, same thing, better rocket though, I'll say, but you're looking at a speed of 25 shock troops, so they might get shaken if some arty comes in there. Now we're moving on to some ATGM units, or excuse me, anti-chopper, so manpads. You've got some manpads, 8 rockets, very good missiles, 75% hit accuracy, so they'll hit what they shoot, and some couple of machine guns, right? So very nice, and you get them in the Stormer, the Lynx, the Saxon, and the different wagon. This one looks a little bit more up to date, and it's amphibious. Note to self, so if you want to use that little sneaky river on the edge of the map, drop these guys off and sneak your little truck back, this would be a good play for catching some unexpected choppas trying to sneak around the map. The Javelin Fusiliers. Now this is a good unit right here. Javelins 5, very nice. I'd like to take these as like an anti-tank force, like rolling stuff like that. Can we do that? Do they have like a? They don't. So the way I like to take them is if the good javelin unit can come in a javelin carrier, like anything that carries an ATGM, it can be a very tough time for tanks, because you can roll them out there, kill whatever tanks or vehicles are out there, put them back in and move them before the enemy's already gets there. Very effective. So the Gattakas, 12 rockets, 15, so they're basically like super shock marine units. If you notice, this is one of the few units that says shock, but they still travel at 30 kilometers, and they have 15. So kind of a clutchy unit. With 12 rockets, it's going to be an absolute nightmare for vehicles if they go into the buildings with these guys. They're just going to shoot at you all day. Heat, top attack. This is the M-Law. This is the same weapon that's being used. I'm not sure if you guys are what period you're going to be watching this video, but there is a current conflict going on in Ukraine versus Russia and Ukraine. and they're using a lot of these weapons that these Gurkhas have, and they're very deadly. So at close range, 630 meters, you're basically taking out a tank. Very effective weapon because it's top attack. It's very cool. And what vehicles do you get them in? Saxony, Boxer, Bulldog, Stormer, Chopper. Get in the Chopper. More Chopper. You get the Stormer, more Stormer. The difference is these guys are heavy, these guys are not. What's the heavy tag mean? The heavy tag is less resistant to like shelling and like bombardment and stuff. So they're not going to get shaken as much. You're basically your morale unit. That can be a big factor because there is routing in this game. And you might need those 3 guys to stand and fight to kill that one tank. And that could save the day. So it's just something to think about. Now, you do have this elite unit, Grenadier Guards. They are heavy, and they got a 12 missiles, 90 millimeter rounds, and they are buzzing, right? Really good stuff. So this is more for your, I guess, anti-infantry. If in the buildings or in the forest, these guys are going to try to put in damage against infantry because it's got the HE power. It's not going to be too effective against tanks, but it will be great against the infantry moving out about. You can get them, in a Merlin, Lynx as well, a Bulldog, Stormer. It shows a Bulldog. Yep, there he is. The Boxer, looking cool. It's in a German vehicle. Really, really weird. And then a Saxony. That's pretty nice. That armored car. And then Advanced Glory Wagon. Very nice. The Fusiliers. So the Fusiliers, are regular infantry as well. They do carry the MLAW. So these could be a good stopgap for, you get 14 trained and 10 hardened to basically, put in work against the enemy, and you get in some in a warrior. So this is a good unit to kind of fill the gaps if you need to. Okay. Moving right along, Coldstream Guards, really good manpad unit. Look at that, 9 missiles, and look at the range and the accuracy. So if you need a chopper pop, the Coldstream Guards are your crew. With 10 units, so they're not going to die as quick if they get hit with Artie. Very nice. Coldstream Guards, good to look out for. And then you got these guys, which are the poop of the litter. It's basically a regular unit. They travel at 20. 2 machine guns, one basically rifle, and the other one's like a saw of sorts. But they get a law. It's not going to be too effective though, because they're shooting at 40. So less than 50, so basically they have 8 missiles at 14. But they get them off quick. Look at that rate of fire, 24. Man, they're letting them things fly. So, yep, those are your infantry. For support, we have everything a deck needs. We have a fob. We have this guy. He's got some armor, and he's pretty fast. He's at 100. He's also... in case you get Artied, I like to take this one. I don't know why I add the fob, so we're going to add that fob. We're going to add him, and we're going to take it in the chopper. I do like the chopper because you don't have to micro it, but if you did want to put the command infantry in there in a chopper, you can do the links. You also get a truck too, so however you want to skin that cat, it could be easy. And if you wanted to take this Challenger tank, that does have its places in game in taking armored command vehicles. And why do I say that is because the one thing you don't want to do is if you're pushing on, let's say, enemy's final spawn, the worst thing ever is you to get all your tanks down there and be stretched to their limit, and the enemy is just pouring in units. So to have that neutraling effect, to be able to kind of carry the day with what you have versus what the enemy has, as a force multiplier, the best unit to do that with is this Challenger. To deny him the spawn zone, so he cannot keep calling out units on you. It is very effective. If you support him correctly, that can be a very good tactic. I know a lot of people don't use him to like go with the tanks, but that's what his job is to forward deploy with armor columns and neutralize that so that you're not able to call in a bunch of stuff while you're duking it out and finding the command vehicle. You can win the day, and if you don't win the day, then if you have to do a fighting retreat, guess who gets to get out of there? This guy, fighting with his men. So just something to think about. He could be a comparable too, but again, you have to micro him. This is 200 points, but it could be worth it. So we're gonna mix it up. Instead of taking him, we will take him. I know you're like, what? He's mixing it up. Yeah, we're gonna try something new. We will take for supply trucks these glorified wagons. Man, look at these things. These guys, you got 12 of them. Nice. And then we'll take the Chinook big boy. So we'll take that guy. Awesome. 12 of them. So you get a lot of it, man. We are stroking. Let's get the tanks in there. All right. So since we have these guys, these are going to be our mainstay tanks. Like I said, we don't get a lot of them, and I'm not particular of taking these. Like, you can take them and put them everywhere, but I mean, it is really a trope, man. It is bad. And I like these guys because of the range. So we're going to take as many as we can get. And that's 5. And let's see, which one do you want? Do you want to take the high end or the cheapies? 24, 22 decisions. We'll take the high end because you don't get that many. You might as well. And for, which is so crazy, this one is a 69 point unit and it's slower than this one. That blows my mind. I guess the armor. That's crazy. And you get 2 cards. So we will take, we're going to go maximum because we can. And we're going to take him too because we can. So all in all, we were able to take 40 units, but I mean, he's slow. And I like to get in there and mix it up with the enemy. But hey, we'll see how we do in game. So support those tanks. We're going to get this Challenger Marksman. Obviously, we're going to get as many as we can. Obviously. We will also take the faster track repair and support. This could be a good 1-2 combo. They don't have a lot as in regards to airplane deniability, so that's something we have to put maybe for a air superiority fighter, and you guys get to see that part of it. Rolling component, if we have one, we're gonna just take 7 hardened, and that's how we're gonna do that. Oh, an MLRS, sorry. So tank, rolling support, and then MLRS. The only thing we don't have that we normally have is like a Patriot or something to keep off air. So this deck is going to be mitigated by some other things, like this mongoose. Ooh, fancy. So we're gonna get more mongoose. Seems like fun. He might not be as supported as we'd like, but they're gonna do a lot of damage to the enemy if we catch them slipping. But like I said, they can be supported by like your links here and these guys. So it could be an interesting duet there. We'll see. Let's see what else we want to add. We'll go air. So we're going to focus on seed. So this guy. At 85, we're just going to, we can spam a little bit. We might do that. He's got very low seed though. Who's got the longer range missile? Ugh. He's got a jamming pod. We're gonna take him. We're gonna take a lot of them too. We're gonna be jamming our butts off. It's gonna be a block party in here, right? We will also have some very good but cheapy air superiority fighters. This seems like a winner. To mix it up with the enemy, we might even go cheaper. Ooh, look at that. So yeah, I can reach out and touch something, and it's 110. Pretty cheap, but you get 3 of them, and that's exactly what we need, a good interceptor. So yeah, we'll take that. That's good. Keep enemy air forces at bay. Got a good carpet bomber here. Also very good for popping the tanks. So the air force is going to come into its own here if we can get clear skies. If we can't get clear skies, it will be a really, really rough time. We might take him. I don't like him because he's expensive and his ability to force multiply is greatly reduced. Right? He can only take out a couple units, and then he has to go back and recharge. Right? He doesn't get that carpet bombing effect that you normally get. He's very targeted, so we'll have to use him differently. And then because we want to have that effect, the carpet bombing effect. Let's do this. And yeah, we'll keep. We'll take 5 rookies. So we'll have some carpet bombers, but we're basically gonna rely a lot on our tornado F3 to clear the skies for us, and our C to deny bucks. So these guys will come in ahead of these guys and constantly be air overwatch. I'm not gonna take this guy, even though he might be a good addition for long range ground attack. And I don't know, do we want to take him instead of him, or take him instead of him? Yeah, well, he's more expensive. ECM 45, turning radius 900. I don't know. I feel like with the price point, this could be interesting. So we will, for the sake of fun, take him. I do like high-end units because I like to show you a good game, because if I lose them, then I lost a very good capability and a good cost. Alright, so the infantry. It doesn't look like we have a whole lot of rolling component in a deck with regards to tanks and like rolling recon and stuff like that. These guys might be accompanied by that choppers, right, as their support. But unless they got some heavy firepower recon, which they really don't, rolling recon or rolling infantry, then there's no really need to take the rolling support unless to support the flanks. So these infantry units we're going to call in are going to be designed to protect our tank units and complement them very well. Having said that, that Javelin Warrior, maybe the Gurkhas could be really good for mixing it up in the buildings and getting the job done. They're right here, so let's see what they can come in. Boxer, Bulldog. Not really what I was expecting for them, but it's okay. So because they're going with the tanks, I'm not going to take them, but I will take them in the fastest chopper they can get their hands on, because I want them to still be able to fight in the forest if they have to. Their ability to just absolutely, have great stats, I believe should be good in game. But like with the rocket is really what I'm paying for, and the speed is really what I'm paying for. So forest fighting, get in and maybe hit some armored columns. If it comes to a forest fight, we'll pick them last, right? Let's see. Boom. Paratroopers. Who's supporting the tanks? Looks like it's you, Boaz. Yes, sir. All right. So the rifles, they're going to be used as our tank component because they have the warriors and they warrior javelins. So we're going to take 14 hardened, and you can get a lot of them. We can buy some more if we need to. SAS, same thing. We want to use them because they're really effective, and I want to buy them in the fastest chopper because I'm probably going to forward deploy them because they're good and catch the enemy slipping. So we'll buy 2 units of them because they're really good. This makes a lot of sense. Royal Marines. We're going to play differently with this deck clearly. So we'll put them. They might fight with the SAS. So if we got the links, yeah. They'll be a tag teaming squad basically, and we'll take 7 of them there in the link 7, and we'll do another group of veteran in the link. So big chopper component and a tank accompanying component, which is good. We will take some rolling manpads and some rolling Gurkhas. They can be our hunter killer squads for other stuff. Not the stormer. We'll do them in the boxers. So harden and the boxers, and then there's really good manpads. Where are they? Coldstream. Where are they? Yeah, there they go. Boom, Coldstream guys. In boxers, yeah. Oh, you can't take them in the boxers. Got it. Because you only get one boxer. We'll take them in that. Cool. It's still wheeled. It's like an armored car. So the boxer will lead the way, and the Saxon will follow it. So really good infantry. We still have a lot of points here. So what can we use? We could take more helos. We could probably double up on vehicles, which is, I'll take that deal all day. Please, mama. More range and more killing recon. Love it. Remember, these things are fast. So this could be a good use for our rolling support, is to support these guys. That could be fun. We have to micro them, so a lot of off the road action. Okay, there's a lot of those guys. We got 3 points left. Maybe we can get some better, maybe some aerial recon for this. Cheapies. We got some of this action going and some pinky for a raiding recon, so to speak. So we're gonna take some exceptional cheap aerial recon. Yeah, we're out of points there. We got 1 point left, and I don't think we missed any slots. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. That's your UK deck. Logistics and command vehicles. We are taking the command challenger. Awesome stuff. So you might see a rush. And these infantry, great infantry. Riflemen to support the tanks, and then good SAS Royal Marine combo, the Gurkhas, and the Coldstream. That could be fun. And then the challenger for tank support, Saber, also tank support, rolling support, and MLRS. Very nice. Heavy tanks, surprisingly, we were able to take a lot of them, but not the ones that we wanted. We took a lot of these GBs. Good recon here. Vehicles, great range. And then the helo, you got a double recon here for this guy, even though he's a chopper. Good stuff. And then this guy, great dogfighters though. And then our Air Force is going to be putting in a lot of work. So there's the Brits. Gonna save this deck. And then we are going to play this bad boy out. We will do, yeah, the Bloody Ridge sounds good. Boom. Very. Yep, it's gonna be a fun one, boys. Fight to the finish, as I always like to do. We'll see how it goes. Pray that I don't get my butt kicked, and here we go. Off to the races. Outstanding. All right, boys and girls, we are here, and we're about to pop this puppy off. I will, straight out the gate, grab my CD boys. Grab 2 of them, and I'll grab my air superiority fighter, just one of them, to give the enemy aircraft a run for their money. If they want to get called in, they're going to get shot down. Get our 1 MLRS going, and then we'll pop the tanks. The one with the longer range is going to go first. Yeah, we're going to take 2 units of him, and we're going to take, let's say, who's faster? He's faster. Good gun. He's okay. I mean, yeah, we'll take him. 3 and 3, right? Take units for the middle and kind of a tank unit here. We'll take the Challenger 2 for this side as well. See, like not a lot of tanks, and we're already down a lot of points, so it's going to be imperative to protect the tanks. Now the infantry is going to be the mainstay, so we're going to take these buildings and these buildings as fast as we can. And of course, we're going to take them with none other than the SAS. Boom, boom. And the Royal Marines. Boom, boom. And also Royal Marines. Boom, boom. And your SAS. And you get a lot of them. So this could be fun. And we also could put some right here in the middle. But we're not going to do that. We're also going to use our really cool recon units. So we'll use the Wildcat. We'll use the... do we want to use him? Yeah, let's use him to accompany our tanks because we're going to need to see what we shoot at to be effective. And a cool one of our mongooses in support on the wings. So it's kind of a unorthodox force from how I'm used to playing, but let's get the job done. So we're going to send these guys out the gate. Boom. Boom. Give them advance orders. Well, actually, everyone just move out there and we'll get them en route. Yeah. Get them rolling. Get the recon moving. Everyone's got to move. And we're going to kind of move, kind of be creative with our seed here. So we're going to tell them to go out wide and then evac. And in case the enemy wants some funny business, we're going to tell it to go in the air. We do see man, this guy's, he's moving. He's really fast. So we do see an enemy buck there. Put them behind the line and the buck's moving. We might get see if he does good. We got him. Good stuff. He is getting shot at. Let's hope he makes it out. And this guy may be able to get the Baratino back there. He has got missiles off. Boom, good stuff. So already we got 200 points. Very nice. Our SAS are in position. And our Royal Marines are going to get in position. We do see the enemy coming. Great recon. Good stuff. So we're going to put in a tanks front formation. And kind of give our guys some advanced orders here to do their stuff. Right, we're gonna try to see if we can get as many side shots as possible. You guys get in the building, please. Thank you. We don't want to get them caught out in the open. Good heavy tanks. First rounds go to us. Very nice. Our tanks are going to be heavier than typically the lighter units of the enemy. So here comes the enemy here. So we're going to try to pop these guys. They did get over on us, but the SAS are kind of defending themselves. That's good. Alright, where's our recon? Things are already kind of chaotic right now because the enemy did surprise us, but we are being very effective. I think we lost our recon. Very effective recon. So we're going to keep moving forward in good fashion. Our challenger marksman is in support. See what we can recon. We might need to call in another recon, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I didn't expect them to win this fight at all because our units are that good. And they're good. They support each other. Very nice. But we've advanced significantly far on the enemy, surprisingly, because you were already halfway down the map. I'm gonna start calling in. I grouped the missile launchers so I can quick grab them. Well, here comes the enemy, his force, I believe. So we're gonna back our units up, fighting retreat, so we can flank him. We want to flank the enemy if we can. Tell him to go out here. As he advances, he's gonna get himself in a precarious position because he might be continuing to advance on the flanks. He'll be advancing into getting side shots. So we need to go ahead and move our infantry and stuff forward through the forest. Just kind of deny the enemy ground there. So there's some light vehicles. We're gonna stop him. They got tanks. Good stuff there, guys. Very nice. They're not gonna be able to fight these tanks, so I'm gonna bring them to my tanks. Our tanks are heavier, but we can't really risk them, so we have to be conservative with the tanks. We'll tell them to fighting retreat, suck the enemy in. We'll call our infantry, our very good Royal Marines from Lynx. They can quick rope there, and supported by the SAS. Tell these guys to back up on the ridge. Right, and hopefully the enemy falls into our trap. We are going to bomb them because we can. We'll call this guy in to give us some support. And kind of make sure we keep control of the skies before we call in a whole bunch of aircraft to do this. Gotta keep him up there, yeah. So it is a fight in the middle, but as you can see, our SAS are trying to pop a chopper, which they did, very good. We, in mission, lost something. So our seed plane got popped by these bucks. There's 2 of them. Our plan to control the skies might not work unless we take out those bucks. That's going to be a job for the mongoose. You see our guys on the wings are doing their stuff, getting popped by the enemy choppers, but we are on the flanks of the opponent. Very well supported. We got some. Yeah, pop those tanks, please. We are almost able to pop the enemy tanks at will. So we're gonna kind of tell them to fall back, and then this is when we're gonna call in our command tank, because I foresee in the future that if we go move on Juliet, we could potentially want to take the lead part of Juliet, and because it's so short, just run tanks in there and stop them from capping it. The game might be already done by that time, but you never know. So we'll be prepared for whatever comes, and if it comes, cool. If it doesn't, cool. Our Royal Marines are going to be told to, and SAS are going to be told to take that city, supported by the Royal Marines on the wing. I feel comfortable sending the Royal Marines and the SAS over there because the tanks are moving forward, and Challenger Marksman's on the wing to support them from choppers. We're going to call in another Lynx to take this position over here. We do have a lot of choppers to call in case they try to rush us with infantry. So we have advanced like halfway, or about to say 2/3 down the map with very little resistance. I will put some guys out on the wing to stop any funny business from the enemy. But our Challenger and ships are leading the charge with some good recon on the ridge there to kind of see what the enemy has. So we are using our tanks effectively, and we're kind of pushing the enemy back. I kept this Challenger here to support the Royal Marines. He's got to do his job. Get over there, buddy. Do your job. And these Lynx are going to be called in to maybe support with rockets and machine gun fire. But as you can see, you know, we've got some SAS shooting at the chopper. And now he's calling in some more tanks. So we're going to continue to advance because I'm not seeing a whole lot from the enemy. See if we can get in the force there and have our Royal Marines get out there as well. It's going to take them a while, but our tanks are doing so well. Very little damage, but with the recon, they're doing exceptionally well because they can shoot and hit the enemy and not have to worry about getting taken out. They're very good tanks. This chip 2 is half armor, but yet it's very calm. So because we got some very good tanks. This Challenger Mark III is trading with these a very nice component of. Let's see if we can get some other shots on them with their recon and the javelins, and keep moving our infantry up to support them in case infantry tries to do some funny business. Give it orders to pop these tanks. Stop right here. Now this is going to be a problem unless the Ares can't hit him, because he's on the ridge with the T-64 and he hits him. Fire 1. He did fire 2 and good kills. So very good on the Ares, the recon units. So we're just kind of continuing to advance here. And we have our command challenger. We're gonna bring him right up with the tanks, and the tanks are gonna hug him really close, because as soon as we get an opportunity, we're gonna line up our tanks like they're stacking on a door, and we're basically going to just take Juliet from the enemy. We could come from the wing since it seems to be protected, and I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go this way and land him there. He will be in vision of the enemy. Let's see, are you almost out of gas? Nope, you're still good. Wow, the computer surrendered. I guess the might of our advance was too much for the enemy. We did kill 4,800 points in 10 minutes. That's pretty good. So even though the British tanks were few, they did an exceptional job. So much to the point where we killed 94% and got 5 casualties. So hats off to the British deck. We're just going to go over kills and losses here. DC did exceptionally well. We didn't call them in beeline over the target because Strela Tunguska might get them. But look, the one chip got all this. So very good tank at 20. Like I said, the range on the chip too is exceptional. 24 plus meter, 100 plus meter range gives you the opportunity to hit a TADU. If he can't see you and you can see it, it's a dead tank. Very good stuff. Challenger did good. Royal Marines, infantry. Very good for the Royal Marines. SAS shot down a J7H, 2 of them. So they definitely pay for themselves. He gets a promotion because he shot down double, baby. Challenger Mark III hit some lighter units. Another chip did very good. A slew of light vehicles and some tanks, some T-55s, basically a T-80, and a command vehicle. So he gets a promotion. These mongooses, again, great unit for being able to scout on the wings and do their job. First unit he popped a command vehicle. So hats off to him. Also a Tunguska and a buck. So this guy was busy, man. Very good to him. More clip. Oh, look at that, man. This guy, man. These guys are amazing. Even though you get few of them, I guess it depends on how you use them. Royal Marines, very nice. Challenger Marksman, pretty much knocked out the recon single-handedly. I guess they all had them all bunched up. But yeah, all in all, very, very good. You kind of get the picture. The tanks cleaned house in the middle, and the infantry really did their stuff in repelling whatever came their way. They're elite, so they didn't really have a problem. So losses, we did lose 285. We did lose a mongoose to a tank and a couple air units. So yeah, guys, that is the English deck. Raw power, just bulldozing. You don't get a lot of it, but if you use those mongooses on, to get out there and scout and shoot the enemy at range, and your clips, man, you get a great range advantage on the enemy. Again, it was 10 minutes and we killed 4,800 units in good order. Great advance, right? Really good advance. 94 kills. So even, and this is another thing that I know. Remember, we were taking shots by the choppers, and the marksmen were taking their sweet time getting up there to help them out. Well, that's just it. Your tanks, I kind of give it to them. They're armored enough against the enemy choppers' rockets to take a few hits before, so they can be supported. So just hats off to the armor and to the support. But that's also what happens when you build a well-balanced deck. So, guys, thank you for joining me. This is Desert Fox signing off. But before I do, I encourage you to get in the Vanguard. Like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Have a good day, and goodbye.